The accent is the most mental thing about the whole situation, like, really.
Yeah. It's great. And what I say to people, like, because even the boys, they said, like this is what Newfoundland sounds like, but it's not at all.
Yeah.
Like where I'm from, Route 10, the Irish, or the southern shore, is Route 10 is called the Irish Loop.
Right.
So when you leave St John's about a half hour down, you're running the Bay Bulls and with the Spade. That's what I call the start of it. People argue it's further up in the city, but it's not. They're all townies. They're not.
Townies.
Yeah, they're not. They're not part of it. But once you get to the Bay Bulls and with the Spade, you're on to the Irish Loop, and that'll go all down around the Avalon Peninsula, right down to the southeasternmost tip of Newfoundland, and right back up around. And from what I could tell, because I never ever delved into it a whole lot, you got a lot of people coming over in the 1700s to settle out.
That's right, yeah.
And it stayed. The accent stayed around. Now, it's not so strong in Witless Bay where I'm from. It was when I grew up, and this is, you get me.
Right.
But if you go another half hour south down to Calvert, and especially talking to the old hands, it's me times, maybe not times 10, but it's more.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, and then you get over to like Cape St. Mary's and go around, like when you're getting over towards Placentia Bay and that, like Branch and all them places. Man, some places you'd say you just stopped off in a county here.
It's nuts, isn't it?
It's crazy how it held on, and
Right
it did hold on. Like the young ones now, you don't hear it as much unless they get someone who's influencing them around. Because like my mother and father don't sound like me at all, because they're not from the Southern Shore.
Oh, really?
Two of them moved there in '88. I come along in '90. But when I grew up, everyone around me, that's what they sounded like. And that's what I took on. So like me and father talking back and forth, we don't sound, because father's from the West Coast, the farthest west coast, so like almost opposite the island.
Right.
So me and him talking together, like he'll drop H's and add H's everywhere, and it's not even the same road, right? Same thing, like you don't have to go far at all. Like you go to Bay Roberts, where my wife's parents is from, sounds completely different again. Yeah, and go to Central, I find you loses a lot of an accent. But if you go to Central and the South Coast, you got a whole completely different accent. You go Central to the North Coast, like up where Fogo's at, Tilting.
Yeah.
Lord, like, you swear again, you were just in another county, so it changes so much.
Right, okay, yeah.
There's one place that got a whole like French background over Port to Port on the West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just what they got, right?
It is mental. That's how I discovered you, I suppose, from the start, was because one of my friends, my Canadian friend, she texted me, right? And she said, have you ever done any history on like the Irish connection to Newfoundland and all this? And I said, no, I've never done it. And she said, do you ever hear the accent? And I was like, no, what about the accent? She said, well, a lot of people over there, they sound Irish. And I was like, hardly. So I went on to TikTok and I searched Newfoundland accent, and you came up straight away. And I heard you talk, and I was like,
Ulster boy.
Who's this lad? It was mental. That's how I discovered you and discovered the whole accent itself.
It's like crazy, boy. Like
I'd heard tell of this years ago, but like it was pre-TikTok, like say 10 years ago, and I was playing early days with Shalin.
Yeah.
And I'd heard tell of it, but like, you know, you couldn't flick onto TikTok and hear Adam talking. Like,
yeah.
Then when you started making those videos, I was like, oh right, it's true.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like,
sounds like a lie.
You always knows it. Like we knows what we sounds like. We knows we sounds different. But like, and I could see it from like again seeing media and all that. But what appreciation I got for it once I got over here and started talking to a few hands.
Yeah.
Because you can feel it then. Like me and Jessica was going around, and like Jessica is from Labrador, up on the mainland part of Newfoundland.
Right. Yeah.
And she grew up in a company town. It was only a town like 600, and it was 3 hours that way or 3 hours that way to get to the nearest town over gravel road. Like they're isolated a lot, and they don't have much of an accent at all because you had a lot of different people come in together, but it was pretty flat. So like for Jessica, like a lot of the places we go to, the first thing she says, "Oh, you're American," because it's just a flat accent, right?
Yeah, okay.
So you get me and her talking together, like it's not even the same.
Yeah, it's the same here in Ireland. Like, as in, like, sure, there's nearly a different accent in, like, there's even different accents in the same county. Like,
yes,
you know? Sure, like even the Kilkenny city accent now would be very different to where I come from, South Kilkenny.
Yeah,
like, we'd be more kind of influenced by Waterford or South Tip, you know. But even in the same county, like, you can have completely different accents.
Like, I'm after picking up a little bit, and a lot of it merges together for myself because so much of it is new, and I'm just trying to process it all, right?
Yeah.
But like, I started in Dublin, I went to Wexford, I went down to Cork and Kinsale, and then up to Galway. And from Cork up to Galway, that's where I noticed it. I could see it in Wexford, but I never got talking to a whole lot of people in Wexford. Like we got in there, we just went up to our restaurant, and then we went for a hike the next morning, and then we were gone. So I didn't get talking to a whole lot of locals. But Jesus, when I went from Cork to Galway, I could tell different like anyone who was from around. And then I got talking to a young fella from Sligo last night, and it was different again.
There's 3 or 4 accents in Dublin alone, like.
I'd imagine.
Strong accents.
And like, Jesus, so big and so busy, right? Like, and we only, I'd say there was more tourists than there was locals everywhere we were at that day, right? You know what it's like.
That was a little tour spot.
Yeah, it is a real tourist spot. But Dublin's a lot of fun, and there's great history up there. It's unbelievable.
Oh, but again, it's like everywhere we went to, we only got like a day and a half, and I need triple the time.
Yeah,
I had to make this happen. That was a goal for me to come down here today, but I could have had another day, if not two, in Galway.
Yeah,
just to roam around. And I got in there so late last night, I didn't get to see nothing. Right. But next time, whenever we're gonna come back over with the little one now when she's grown a little bit more and she can remember stuff. Me and Jessica and her, and I'd like to take like weeks and just take me time, and I can settle in somewhere and I can go pick around for 2 or 3 days, right? And because then I can get my class into it. Right now, I'm just doing flybys.
What's the full trip? What's the full length of the trip?
This time?
Yeah.
So I got in Monday in Dublin. I was in Dublin. Well, we flew Sunday night. We done a red eye over to Dublin because getting out of Newfoundland is a pain. Boys, you got wicked travel over here to get anywhere. You got to give your right arm to get out of Newfoundland, and you got to go to Toronto. So I'm in Newfoundland. I had to fly west to go east. Because there's nothing.
No way.
I could have went on one flight, but it was a different competitor's airline, and there were points and all that stuff with it. I could have flew into London, Gatwick, but I had to go up to Toronto and then fly over here. So we left Sunday mid-afternoon. We got into Dublin 8 o'clock in the morning. We hit the ground running. Spent all day in Dublin. Next day we got up, just got something to eat. Went down to Wexford. Pretty well the time we got down there, we got settled away. Went and got something to eat. Next morning, got up, done a hike out in Raven Point. There, it was beautiful. They had like a reserve or park or something like that.
Right.
Left there. We didn't know if we was going to go to Waterford or Cork, but we were told to go to. I was talking to Cian Toomey actually, and he said,
yeah.
I was trying to get to meet him too. I said, Cian, are you around? Because I told him I'd let him know when I was going to be over. He said, I am right now. He said, when are you coming? I told him I was coming tomorrow. He said, bye. He said, I'm going to London tomorrow till Sunday. I said, you're not. I said, that would be the luck. I said, Cian, what am I going to do? I guess to Cork. I said, give me the heads up. He said, go down to Kinsale. He said, he named a restaurant for me. He said, go out to Old Head. He said, because it's a beautiful spot out there. So I said, okay. I said, Cian, give us a couple of recommendations. I said, for that, because we were planning on being in Cork for one day. I said, we'll put Cork on for 2 days and pretty well spend a day in Kinsale. And go up Cork City for the rest of it. So I had bypassed Waterford then, because that was the plan. I was going to stay there for the night. We went on into Cork. Went down around Kinsale for a day, up in Cork for a night. Went to Galway last night.
Yeah.
Come down here today. It'll be Dublin tomorrow to drop the car back off because I got to get rid of that. Right. I'm enough of driving now. Right? I mean, just got calculated when I was coming back down. I think I got 13 hours punched now this week. And it's not a lot. It's like I said to Jessica, I said, because I go to the west coast of Newfoundland, Skidooin, like multiple times in winter because they get good winters, whereas we don't. So I got the machine there to do it. I'll have to board the truck. It's 6.5 hours to get over to Wiltondale, where I leave Skidooin. I know that in the blink. I'll get up 4 o'clock in the morning so I can get over there for 10 or 11 o'clock. I'll go for a few days, right? So in Spain, I'll come back a couple of days later. So 2 or 3 days, I get 12 or 1,300 kilometres punched on the truck and do that in the blink. But over here, you're doing like 2-hour hauls. I come in when I got into the hotel the other day. I said, Jessica, come on, we got to go to the restaurant, get a beer. I said, I'm done. So we're going to drop the car off in Dublin now tomorrow, and then I got to be in Belfast for Wednesday morning for work. But I wanted to bring Jessica up just over the city because we've been there now. I've spent 8 weeks in Belfast now since February. Okay. So I got the city down now, right? I know the ins and outs of her. So I said, you come up there and I'll show you some of the spots that we've been to. And like, we got the boat up in dock. She even never seen my boat before that I goes to work on. So I've been going to her now since 2015. And she's never seen, like I've spent more than half my life, half our relationship on it. Yeah. And she's never seen it.
Right.
So I
on the boat?
On the boat, yeah. So I can bring her up there now and at least I can say, that's where I goes to work.
What is it you do on the boat?
I'm in oil and gas. I'm an instrumentation tech by trade. So it's like half a mechanic, half electrician. I call myself mini mechanic and mini electrician because I can't do what a mechanic can do and I definitely can't do what an electrician can do.
You must be unbelievably handy to have around.
Depends on what I'm at. Sometimes I'm worse because you look at it too hard, right? But no, like it's maintenance on the boat is what we do. So we just basically keeps her running and when she trips off, you put her back on because if like we takes the oil up, we processes it because when it comes up it's half raw. There's water in with it and gas, so we'll strip all that apart. We'll separate it in 3 parts: water, oil, and gas. Okay. Take the clean oil and then put it down the holding tank. Then we pumps it off to a tanker. Right. So she'll go on to a refinery then. So all we're doing is maintaining that plant, and then what else is a boat too? So you got to maintain the boat system.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if that plank goes down and production goes down, we'll say, so you're not separating that crew no more, you're not taking it on, you got to get her up so quick as you can, because downtime's money.
Right.
Get her back on and get her back going.
Do you have to do some mental training for that job? I seen a video on your TikTok before.
It's like we kind of glazes over it now, but like I was talking to someone last night about the crash, like back years ago, the chopper, and you think about it, like it's not light-hearted. Like I'm gonna tell you, we got 2 cleaners on the boat. They're up in their 60s, and like to look at them, you'd say, oh yeah, they're a little bit frail, but boy, they does it.
Right.
Well, they're probably harder than half what we got out on the boat. But, well, yeah, you got it's 5 days of training to go get on the chopper, and like every 3 years, then he does a 2-day research. So
What was the chopper crash?
in 2008, we lost one going to the rig I'm on, actually.
No way.
Yeah, 491. She lost on the way out. She lost her gearbox, and
Went down.
yeah, we lost everyone on her except one. One came out of it.
Christ.
Yeah, it's
Serious.
it's still especially for us, because it was like I wasn't out on the boat at the time, but like
Yeah.
I got a lot of fellas. That boat went out there in 2006. And I got a lot of fellas still on the boat since then.
Yeah.
Because you don't, like, it's a good job. And when you get out on a lot of places, like, not every place is like it, but especially our place, I find, because we're small, we're only 80 hands on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And, oh, yeah. Well, like, Hibernia, like, the big platform, she got, like, 200 odd on her. Yeah, but that's your second family, because you're spending more than half your life.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So the boys are... You're living, I'm working with them all the time. So it gets pretty tight.
Right.
And,
of course, yeah.
you know, like the boys been there since 2006. They went through that. There was a point in time you went through, and they still feels it, right? We has our memorial every year.
Can
Right.
imagine,
Yeah. But, the training for it, like, you have to go do, like, he gets in a simulator, so they'll put you in, like, a mock body of a helicopter. And I think you got to do 5 rolls now, 5 dunks. So the first dunk you do is just straight down, you're in the seat. You wait till he gets underwater, rip the harness off and get out.
That's terrifying.
But we got breathers on us now. Since that accident, I don't think they had them before the accident. Since that, we got breathers on us now. So we'll train with the breather. So the first one, you just go down and get out the window. The second one, well, every one after that, I think he inverts. So you go down, because what the chopper's going to do, because all your weight is up above you, when she pitches on the water, chances are she's going to roll. So she'll go upside down and start sinking. So you do your training with that in mind. So they'll put you down the water, they'll invert you, you'll wait till you're inverted, because they're watching you. If you tries to go out too early, you could hurt yourself because she's rolling.
Yeah.
But they want to know that you can do it from an inverted position. And rip the breather out, put the breather in, get a breath of air, and then get out the window. So you do that 5 times, right? Like, oh yeah, like it's a bit of a mind game when they're at it, right? Because a lot of fellas, especially like if you got fear of water, or you know, it's a strenuous thing, you can get in your head about it, and that's the worst thing. Once you start thinking about it a lot, I remember, like, I think my first research I done, I remember saying to my father, because father's had it since 1999, he went offshore, and I said to him, I come home that evening, we were having a beer out in the shade, and I said, Jesus, father, I said, like, I got to the 5th roll, and I couldn't physically remember hauling that breather out and purging it, because your breather's full of water, you got to blow the water out of it before he takes a breath. I said, I can't remember doing that. I was just doing it. And then I got to the 5th one, I said, Jesus, how am I doing this? And like, you half get in your head about it, geez, what am I doing with that now? Trying to get it away, right? Something else,
That is my worst nightmare now. I would not be able for that.
You don't think you would, like, if you got into it and you said, because, you know, the money is a good job. And if you could get to that point. So if you got to that point and you went out and tried it, and the boys that's in the training centre, you know, we went through periods where you got less than perfect trainers. Nobody's perfect. But the boys are pretty good, right? They'll help you whatever way they can, and like, especially people gets worked up or something like that, they'll do whatever they can to make you feel the best comfort that you got, to be able to display that you can get yourself out of that situation in that condition, because you know yourself, boys, in a real condition it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be in the flat pool, it's going to be on a windy day and all that stuff, but they'll do what they can to make you comfortable, to say, yeah, I can haul myself out in chopper if I'm able. Right?
Yeah.
How long would you be out at sea for when you go out?
We does, like, everybody is different, but like offshore Newfoundland is 3 week maximum, say. Okay. So you go out for 3 weeks, like, because we got contractors working with us too, so the boys might come out for 3 weeks, they might go in for a week and then go to another installation. Like us, for regular rotators, I goes out for 3 weeks, I goes home for 3 weeks. Yeah. Unless the weather is bad. And you've been out there sometimes 5 and 6 days waiting for the weather to calm down to get back in at it, so the hitch kind of drags on a little bit. Right. Or if you have a big shutdown, like a planned maintenance shutdown, you're manning up the rig, you can get an extension for 4 weeks. Right. After 4 weeks at a time. Usually it's 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. That's what we do.
It's not bad, yeah.
No, it's not. I've worked a lot worse. When I first started that and I was contracting, I was 3 weeks on, 1 week off. So I go offshore for 3 weeks. I get a week off when I come home, and then I'd either go back in the shop, or if there was another call for offshore, I'd go offshore.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better than that.
Would it be hard on the missus now seeing you go, or is she happy to get you out of the house?
But, no, like, they're always happy to see you go for a little bit. Like when you're getting on the end of it, like, oh yeah, you go on now. But it's a different lifestyle, is what it is. And that's what I tell them. Because a lot of, like, talking to people about it like that, and they said, Jesus, it must be hard to be away, especially with the little one now. And it's worse with the little one now. It's after getting worse since we had her. Yeah. But it's like anything. Like if you put me home on a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, and I'd say I might last 2 weeks, and I'd be like, Jesus, get me back to offshore so I can have my own time. Yeah. But when I get off for me 3 weeks is my own. Yeah. So I can do what I want. Like if I want to haul her out of school or whatever I want to do, and I'm there every day. Right. Whereas as if you're working a regular job, you gets home and tries to get supper aboard. Time he goes to bed and gets back up again, but you don't have a lot of time. And you're working for them weekends, and stuff got to get done on the weekends too. So. Yeah. There's pros and cons to it all. I think like every time I've had that conversation, and it's went many different ways. Yeah. But the end point I gets to is there's pros and cons to it all, and you try to split it the best you can. That's all you can do. Right? I do enjoy the time to myself, but when you're gone, you're gone. Yeah. Right? Because every day out there is the same. You're getting up the same time. You're eating the same time. You're pretty well doing the same thing, plus or minus a few things, but. It's the life of monotony until he gets home. Then you get off the chopper and you set your foot on the ground, you're gone.
Do what you want for 3 weeks.
That's right, yeah. Well, whatever the missus says, right?
Now, Newfoundland and Ireland also have some modern things in common, namely our problems. As real estate continues to rise and become unaffordable due to inflation, and our wages are failing to keep up with that inflation, luckily, we have one solution for that today. Just ask today's video sponsor, Masterworks Art Investing Platform. Masterworks have already distributed back a total of over $60 million in investor proceeds across their 23 exits, even through COVID, soaring inflation, and market uncertainty. See, for over 5 years, Masterworks has been helping everyday investors diversify part of their overall portfolios into blue-chip contemporary art, an asset class that's already been used by billionaires for decades. So how does Masterworks get us access to art from legends such as Picasso and Basquiat for our benefit? Well, Masterworks breaks their purchased paintings into shares, turning them into what they call offerings. That way you can invest in said offerings with an amount of your choice. You can also diversify your portfolio without millions of dollars or any art expertise. From there, if an offering sells, you get any potential returns. As I mentioned earlier, Masterworks recently passed $60 million in investor proceeds distributed back from their 23 exits so far. So if you want to join the 900,000 plus members already checking out Masterworks, I'm going to leave a link at the top of my description for priority access right now to see if art investing is for you. Of course, past results are not indicative of future performance and do not include unsold works. Investing involves risk. You can see all important Regulation A disclosures at masterworks.com/CD. And when you were creating content then, is that when you're off or when you're working?
When I'm off, I don't do a whole lot out there because there's I'm sure there's something that I signed that tells me I can't do it. But you generally don't. Like I won't say it's faux pas, but like I'm not gonna go around and taking video. Like we don't have our cell phones outside of accommodations just because of rules, and rules are there for a reason. If you had a gas leak and you get a cell phone in your pocket, that's the source of ignition.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I don't really make a whole lot of content out there. What I find myself doing content wise is when I'm home, I'll make a lot of content and I'll spread it while I'm gone because you like being able. I don't want 3 week blackout periods, right? Yeah. So I'll be home and it's. Content with me is just whatever kind of pops into my head. So like, I could have a week where I'm at nothing. I'm like, oh Jesus, I could do something with that, right? Or something might happen, or you might have a story. Like we call them Harbour legends home. All the old fellas that grew up in the community, and they are legends of us in their own right. And every now and again, you might be drinking with one of the boys, or you might be having a yarn with father, and you say, oh Jesus, I remember that story, right? And you tell that because I mean, how can you like Leonard Norris, the only man to jump over the chain link fence at the Bay Bulls garden party in a single bound? Who's going to tell that story? The same fella could take his shoes off and get on top of a bear battle with one foot and touch the other foot off his nose. Like, you can't make it up, right? And he has a good chuckle with it, and he says, boy, throw that out there, and somebody else have a chuckle with it. And the big thing I'm after finding is you gets it out there, and like you say, you bridge the gap to over here, especially with the accent and that and being home. But another big portion of it is people from Newfoundland after moving away. I get so many comments
Right.
on me stuff that says, "Boy, like you put a smile on my face, you give me a little piece of home today, just while I'm
Yeah.
scrolling TikTok for 5 minutes, right? Like I get a little piece of home, and it warms you because like I spent time away too, doing rotation up in Alberta, and you feels you are disconnected. And I only had rotation life up there. There's people that moved away, like a lot of my mother's side of the family moved away, and the late 90s, early 2000s went to Fort McMurray, and they never come back because they went up there and made lives for themselves, and you know, they made a good life for themselves, but they're still away from Newfoundland.
Yeah.
So you feel so torn from home. And if you can put 15 seconds of content out for something all foolishness or something like that, but give people a piece of home, I like knowing that a lot.
Yeah.
Because at least you're putting a smile on someone's face for a good reason.
Exactly. Yeah. You're reminding them of their home, like. You know,
you're just for 15 seconds. You're not in Fort Mac no more. You're not in Ontario. You're not in Vancouver. You're back home on the Southern Shore, right?
Yeah.
You can't get no better than that.
Can't get better than that.
Where are you going any better than that? Maybe over here this week, but
I suppose a lot of people over there as well have like a serious connection with Ireland, don't they? Like a lot of them. Like there's so many people over there probably have Irish ancestors.
A lot, guaranteed to do. Like I've never looked in my lineage, but like if I thinks about my lineage where mother and father wasn't from the area moved in, I got me doubts if I look back I would find anything. Maybe someday I'll do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you goes up the shore, O'Brien's and Sullivan's and I can't think of any other names now to come. Like, you know, the boys got lineage.
Yeah.
The boys got lineage.
and you're talking to them, and especially talking to their fathers and their grandfathers, should they still be around. Like you went into the squid jigger up in Calvert, and there's an old fella sat to the bar, and it opens his mouth. If he's from Calvert, you're going to be like, holy Jesus, like you just got off the boat, right? Guarantee. But yeah, they and even the ones if you wouldn't know what your lineage is, they feel a sense of pride too, because it is the Irish loop and it is part of home, and part of that being home is you got that connection over here. There's a big sense of pride with that too.
Yeah, that's something I'm trying to do on my channel as well. I suppose is to cover the history of it because it's so interesting. It's unreal. It is,
and a lot of people don't know it.
Yeah.
And it's a tale all this time. You lose it after a while.
Yeah,
people don't talk about it.
Yeah,
people are much more aware of the American link, but not many people know about Newfoundland.
No,
There's so many people,
there, right?
Irish people who went over there.
Yeah, it's something you don't want to lose the time.
Yeah,
right? you want to keep it fresh because it's important, right? Yeah. It's important knowing your roots and knowing where you come from and why you are the way you are.
If
we was all alike, there'd be no fun that.
It's mental though. Like, I was reading about it recently. Like it was 1830, right? So, which is a good while ago, but it's not that long ago. You know, on the grand scale of things. Yeah, 50% of the population of Newfoundland was Irish people.
That's mental.
That's correct.
Half of it,
right? I didn't know that stat. Like, that's nuts. Like that's correct.
It's absolutely mental. Yeah.
And how she's after morphing to what she is now. Like, geez, to go down and talk to someone down in Buren, like down Buren Peninsula is another just a peninsula, right about 3 hours where I'm from. They talk's completely different. Like I don't know where they got how their accent morphed into what it is, but
right,
it is what it is. Right? Oh, like it's wild.
Came from a different county in Ireland, maybe.
I guess it gets mixed after a while too. Yeah. Like because they got French over there too. Like there's a little island after Buren Peninsula, Saint Pierre, and the French still owns that. That's a French, not a colony. Like it's part of France.
Oh,
yeah, and there's no you can get a ferry over. I've never been, but. It's down there, so I imagine that's after mixing in. Boys runs liquor over there all the time.
Yeah. There's some mad things. Sure, even like Newfoundland has an Irish name as well, Tal Van Eyck.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Land of the Fish.
Land of the Fish, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll do. Like, how many times when you were growing up you see the old commercial like getting into like the local station's home? Like the part of your heritage and all this, right?
Yeah.
And John Cabot was going on the boat and he hauling up the baskets full of fish, right? Because he said it was like it years ago. Like, the moratorium come along in 92, we got skinned out. I'll start to come back a little bit again, but Lord, you look at pictures from like back in the 1800s and early 1900s, the fish they used to flake out.
Flake out?
Oh, like, well, they'd split the fish, salt it, because salt was the best way to preserve it.
Oh, right.
And then they'd call it flake it out when it was split out and flaked. So you fold it out, put the salt onto it and put it out to dry in the sun, and Jesus Christ, like, same as a car park filled up with saltfish.
Jesus.
Every bay and cove, because that was what you had. You had fish. Actually, who done a song? Rum Raggett done a song not long ago. That's the thing about fish, and that's what we was built on. That's all we had, right?
Yeah.
Fish went away, and then we had oil. That was the next thing to come on, because when the moratorium come, the fishery pretty well collapsed. Like, before then, most everyone worked in, not most everyone, but a lot of people worked in the fishery. That was the backbone
Right.
of it all, we say. And once that fell down, and there was a period of time there that fell down in 92, and oil didn't really come along. The first installation we built, I think, was starting in maybe in the early 90s, but she didn't go out there until 97, I think. So there was a gap there, right? There was no work. Everyone had to go on. You had to go to Alberta. Toronto was popular at the time, in Ontario. So there was nothing home. You couldn't.
Has the fishing come back, or is that just gone altogether?
There is still a fishery, like inshore. There's an inshore fishery, like pretty well whatever the boys can get, and they get enterprises and all that, like for crab and different other shellfish. There's some cod still going on.
Yeah.
And there's the offshore fishery too, like the factory freezer trawlers and all that. They're still on the go, but it's certainly not to the level that it used to be. It's more family-driven business now, and like some of them is quite large. They're enterprises and all that for the quotas they're going to haul back in, but not to the level of what it used to be, like say in terms of Newfoundland economy. Say there's a lot of people still at it, but it's not. I don't know if it'll ever go back to there. It might, because you got a lot of corporations at it now with the factory freezers and all that, and that kind of throws a little bit of a wank into the inshore offshore bit for the fishing. Yeah, it's a little bit more diversified now. Like we had some tech companies in Newfoundlander after setting up shop, and then you get oil and gas. It's pretty big. And then just the government sector itself, because we only got 500,000 people, but we got a lot of people in the government between all the sectors of it, because we're so spread out, right? Like, I only looked at it the other day, like, I can't remember the landmass, but with just the island Newfoundland is bigger than Ireland, but we got a tenth the population.
Right. Yeah, I think Newfoundland's like twice the size of Ireland, isn't it?
Time you puts Labrador in the mix, guaranteed, because Labrador's huge. There's only, there's a huge landmass off on the mainland. I think I put a bet on it one day out to work, and I think what we come to, there's like 27 or 28,000 people in Labrador, and the place is massive.
Right.
And the island Newfoundland itself, probably around 520,000.
That's all it is it? About 500,000?
That's about it, right? Like, and the St. John's area, like just north of me, I don't know if they takes in me under St. John's now, like with Spain there, but just in the metro area in St. John's around the capital, there's 200,000 there.
Yeah.
Right, so two-fifths of it, that's where they're at.
Yeah, okay.
Everything else is scattered around basically the coastline with some central towns. Right. Most everything is built around the coastline, but then you got these vast stretches on the coastline. Now you got to try to connect, right? Like, man,
what's in the middle?
Not a lot. the highway's through the middle of Transcanada. But, there's a couple of towns like scattered around the middle. Like Clarenville's on the water, but you're starting to get into central, and Gander's in the central. It's like there was a big international airport. That used to be the hub when everything was flying over to Europe. They'd mostly stop there to refuel, right? They used to get like a lot of celebrities and stuff in there in the 50s and 60s, because that was your stop. And when 9/11 happened, then a lot of planes got diverted there because all the airspace got shut down. They had nowhere to go, so they flooded Gander. Like, I don't know, but there was like another 10,000 people off flights. It might have been more than that. I might be wrong in that figure, but there was a lot of people got stranded in Gander until they sorted stuff out. They get planes back up, right? And then another couple of towns on the way. Like, there's a little bit of forestry industry out there. So you got Grand Palms and Deer Lake and all that, and then you'll get back to the coast again.
Right.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like,
right, okay. I have a question for you, right? Who do we need to listen to in terms of Newfoundland music?
Oh, Jesus.
I've come across some of it, and it's unbelievable.
I done a video on that too long ago, and people will be quick to tell you what they think. It's hard to put a finger on one, because there's a lot of good stuff. Like, I had this conversation with a fella in Taft's last night, because I was after going around to a couple of bars, and I said, boys, the set list that they're playing and all the clubs, like where there was live music, same set list as the boys playing open mic home. Same thing. They're all playing the same stuff. But like, for a good Newfoundland band, for me, like the Navigators was from up home. Okay. I love the Navs. Art O'Brien and Freddie.
Nice nautical team there.
Oh yeah, like it was. they plays good stuff. The original Irish descendants, like back from the early 90s.
Oh yeah,
boys are solid. I sings Darcy Broderick to my little girl. I'd say every night that I'm home. She knows every word to Streets of New York now, because Darcy does a wicked version of that.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, she can sing that now. She's only 2.5. Right. Navigators, original Irish descendants. Shannigan is a I would say newer, but they does a lot of great Newfoundland music. Rum Ragged is tops. I went to see their album release just before we come over here the Sunday prior. Boy, what a sound. Right. And like good, the thing with Rum Ragged is, and I didn't know it, they explained it at their album release, was that they'll go around and try to find songs that are getting lost. So like they'll be down in some small community, like down where they're from, around
Delhi.
Branch or something like that, and try to save them, right?
Yeah.
Like they done one by, there's a group, they're like a satirical group, but they're doing some really nice Newfoundland songs. So buddy, what's his name, and the other fellas.
Right.
He done a song apparently at a song circle, and never ever recorded it with their band or nothing like that. But he said, boys, like you do a really good job at that. What was that? Can't remember the name on it now. Something about lights in something cove. Beautiful song, absolutely beautiful song. But the ability to be able to go around and take them out of it and try to preserve them now that they're putting it out in their form.
Yeah.
Boy, like it's hard not to go after it.
Would folk be the most popular music?
I would say, like, I mean, you go around anywhere and like you're gonna hear all kinds of different music now.
Yeah.
But like, if you went to some of the pubs downtown caters to that. They cater to that Irish connection, even though they're still in St. John's. Like that's what you're getting. Like the wife owns a bar and restaurant in Bay Bulls. If we get someone up to do open mic or just like a music night, generally that's what it's going to be. You're going to get Irish Newfoundlandish, because like you can tell we're hauling everything from you fellas. We're putting our own spin on a lot of it. Like a lot of the songs that you hear is here, you're getting covers of that home. Right? And like same thing when I was in Galway last night, the songs I was hearing, you knows every word to them because you grew up on them.
You grew up on Irish folk music, like
that's what it was.
It's mad.
Like geez, Galway girl. If you didn't know that, you can go home at it, right?
I've come across a few people from talking to so many people from Newfoundland that they grew up on Irish folk music, so a lot of the times they'll think some of them songs are from Newfoundland.
Oh, you do, and you know what? In the past little while, I've had to look into some of them because I don't know. Like especially with Darcy, like Darcy has so much from over here because he got that heritage. I believe I shouldn't even say that, but I think he got family up in the north somewhere because I know him and his daughter be back and forth over they were in Enniskillen there last year. I think they got some family connection up there. But what he's after putting out there, and like you always associates him to home, but so much of it is held over. And like I don't know if he wrote it or who wrote it. So like I'm finding myself now looking up like where did this originate to?
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's unreal. It's a really good thing because it just shows the fact that you grow up on it. You just presume, sure, it's from Newfoundland.
You just figures, right? Like I started chasing trad music up in Belfast. My first hitch over just to try because we don't have trad sessions like he has trad sessions in pubs. There's one thing I've never seen home just for people to get together and play because they'll do it at their own place if they're getting together. But you'll never see someone out to a pub just like it'll be more of a structured gig. Kind of thing, right? Yeah. So when I got over here and I knew that was going on, I said, "George, Jesus, I got to try to find that." But I found it hard trying to triangulate where everyone was at.
Trad sessions are great fun.
Oh my! Well, I started chasing them once because the Belfast session guides, I think, on Instagram, they had where they were all too. So once I had my supper, I could go on. Then I'd take in a couple hours of music and I'd go on.
Yeah.
So I started going around following the boys, and then I said, "Jesus, I'm going to try one." Like I said, if they'll have a singer in, like. I'll pop in with him, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to take something from home. So I find myself on the phone and like, Jesus, where did this like what song did Darcy sing that come from home that it wouldn't borrow from here, like truly one home? And Lighter Evermore is a beautiful one he wrote from home about when the fishery collapsed. And I sang that one night up to where was that to? Up Fountain Lane in Belfast. That was beautiful, right? Just a little piece of home to bring it over because it sounds so similar.
Yeah.
But you can tell the roots is from here, but it, like you say, that's our spin on it.
Yeah.
In amongst what we borrowed to cover over, right?
Yeah, but it's class, like I love, do you know that song, I's the Boy?
Oh,
like, Big Z, that's some tune. That is some tune.
That's a little buckle of floor with that one, right?
Yeah. And the other one, I don't know I know whose song this is, but Newfie Boogie.
Oh, Jesus, White Horse.
That is unreal.
One of the fellas on that, I believe the fella playing the accordion is from Jessica's hometown up in Churchill Falls.
Oh.
I can't remember his name. But, boys, you don't know how many, like, mornings, like, we'd be up to the camp up home, like, because you'd be up there for the weekend. And, you know, as you get up in the morning, and depending on what you're going out, you might be on the bear then. And every Saturday morning home on the AM channel is the Irish Newfoundland show. Plays from, I think, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
How many times I'm after calling in there, especially when I was younger and down to the camp on the bear, calling in trying to get him to play Newfie Boogie. Getting all toe tapper on the go and they're sat down at the table, right? And same thing Sunday morning, like I think 2 of the FM stations, it does, one is called Jigs and Reels and one is called Homebrew. And that's all Irish and Newfoundland music, whatever you got, like whatever he likes, from 9 or 8 till 1 in the afternoon.
Right.
And you're tuning in every weekend, like... beauty.
Yeah, it's unreal. I tuned into that show a couple of times.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I homebrew, if I'm home on a Sunday, I get a request gone in homebrew. Same with him. He's sick of seeing my email, I'd say. Because I always get something, because I have a little one with me, like cooking breakfast and all that, and I'll say, I want Sarah this now this morning, or something like that, right? And she'll be dancing around. She loves it.
Yeah. Have you gotten to see any Irish sports yet? Or
No, I didn't, and everyone told me to go see it, but it's just been... I've been talking... Boys, I was listening on the radio come down here today. Today is a big day.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of matches on the go today. I don't know what half it is.
There's football and hurling.
And hurling on the go.
They'd be two of our traditional Irish sports.
I see, because I see a couple of boys out playing around. I said, Jessica, look, I said, they're hurling. I don't know what hurling is no more than anything else. I know if you got a stick and the boys had a ball.
That's the long and the short of it.
You're in the home of hurling right now. Tipperary lads won't like that one.
Someone, when I said I left Galway today and I was coming to Kilkenny, they said, you got to go see the hurling match. Is it GAA?
Yeah.
You said, you got to go see that. And he said, make sure you picture yourself up a Tipperary jersey.
Oh.
And I said, someone is looking to get my teeth kicked in here today, right? Like, I'm not wearing no jerseys.
You'd be a brave man wearing a Tipperary jersey around
Yes,
here.
there's no mistake. I know.
Or a Kilkenny jersey in Tipperary, vice versa.
Big rivalry, boys, is it?
Big rivals, yeah.
We don't have that, like, we got a little bit in senior hockey like that. Like, Southern Shore Breakers is a household name of home, right? Breakers. Right. And, like, say, over in up in Bay Roberts area, they got their own team. There's a little bit of rivalry going on with that, but nothing like what you fellas got.
Right, yeah, it's intense enough.
Handy. Oh, yeah, like... He lives it and breathes it, right? We has it, like, hockey comes around, like, you can say, oh yeah, a couple of fellas getting rackets over the hockey and all that. It's a bit long and short, but it's not like, that's your gear.
John, I know a crazy thing about hockey, actually. Now, this is not a fact. This is just what some people say. Some people reckon that ice hockey was derived from hurling.
Yes, boy.
Some people say that. Yeah.
No way.
Some people do, yeah. No, it's not a fact. And
I don't know.
You can't really trace it.
I don't doubt it, like...
Do you know what's a funny one? What's the thing you call it that you hit in hockey? A puck, right?
The puck, yeah.
And if you hit a slitter with a hurl,
it's a puck.
It's a puck.
Jesus, I never thought of that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh, guaranteed, boys. Like, you know how many people come over, they get like, oh, Jesus, boys, you get frozen pans and all that. A lot of the winter, why don't we try this?
These are the kind of things that keep me up at night.
Just needs a longer sleep,
right? This is what I think about when I'm trying to sleep at night.
That's what keeps you up.
Have you ever done that with a fact like that, where like somebody tells it to you as fact, and then you pass it on to like 20, 30 people, and then you find out, oh, it's an actual fact, actually. It's just people think this is... Like, for example, the word for jazz apparently came from the Irish word tass, where jazz was kicking off in New York, and there was a bunch of Irish people over there in the 1800s. Right. And apparently, like, tasses means, like, hot, like heat. Yeah. It's like, it's the hot thing at the moment. Right. I must have told 20 people that that's 100% true, and then you look it up and say, oh, it's an urban legend. Well, so it might be true.
If nothing else, deadly conversation. Right?
Start calling people up. Yeah, listen, just to retract that fact there.
Cover all your bases. Right? No, but it's conversation starter. Shake it. Let them go on. Let them believe what they want to believe. Right? Oh, boys.
Absolutely.
That's one of the things that blew my mind actually the most about people from Newfoundland is the fact that you say bye.
Yeah. Oh, how many times I get into that now? The past couple of nights, like
that's wild. I've never heard anyone say that outside of Ireland before. Until
I've never heard of any, like, only what I've seen in media from over here. But like, I come across someone, actually have a conversation with them, never heard it until I come here, right? Like, because the boys are the boys, and like people get confused with it because it's all your circle, whoever you're with. So you say, oh yeah, the boys are showing up, and then a couple of fellas show up with their women and all that. They said, I thought you said the boys were showing up. It's like, yeah, that's the boys. Everyone. They're all showing up, right? All them are the boys.
Yeah.
Right? The girls are the boys and the boys are the boys. Well, so whoever you got hauling in, right? But like I've never ever talked to anyone else who had it. And that's another grand part, but like you come over here and then you talk to it. You instantly gets that connection.
Yeah.
Would the boys back in Newfoundland, would they all know about like your channel and the videos you make and stuff like that?
Some of them do. Like when I started out, I won't say I'll advertise it. When I started out, I think COVID was on the go then, and TikTok was new. So like I'd come home from offshore. I remember like I went out offshore, everything was normal. Yeah. I went out and everything fell fucking apart while I was out on the rig, and Jessica called me, like I'd be calling her on the phone. And she was like, Adam, boy, she said, it's different in here now. I said, what do you mean it's different? She said, everything's locked up, like you can't go nowhere. I was like, wow, boy, I said, no different. And then like another week went by. She said, "Bye, Adam." She said, "The liquor stores and the beer stores and all that, like some of them's not open up." I said, "Well, Jesus." I said, "Go get a couple of 26ers of whiskey and a bit of beer." I said, "I need something when I comes home." Right, and I come home and it was like a ghost town. So you weren't hitting nothing, and like we're more spread out at home, so you're not confined to the house. You can go on up the wood. You won't see nor soul. But we were spending more time home than what we normally would. And we found TikTok and was scrolling along. And I always used to be at all foolishness on Snapchat, send the boys old Snapchats. And I found that logged all them old foolish videos I was sending them. So I was like, geez, I should throw a couple of them up now, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. I'd throw a couple of them up. Then I took my own takes on it. And I'd be down to the camp thinking about something. And we had the old logbook down the camp. I made a couple of videos about that, right? And but when I was at that, I didn't really advertise it to the boys. Especially the boys at work are going to take the piss out of you. Yeah. When they go saying, "Oh, look at that, right? What's he getting now?" Talking it up to the cabin, right? Like, but no, like most people around now, they knows what I'm. They knows who I am anyway because I loves carrying on.
Yeah.
And they knows it now. They like some people from home will stitch onto it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I was amazed coming over here how many people stopped me.
Really?
Oh yeah, like I because I didn't think that was going to happen. Like I knew I had a bit of following that was over here, and it kind of gets piped over here because of the locations and the tagging and all that. But Jesus, I was at the two Johnnies was deadly. The boys held me at the crowd. I was like, "Boy, this is wicked. This is like a dream, right?"
Yeah, two Johnnies are some crack.
Oh boy,
we went to them last year. We went to Pints in the Field.
Yeah.
In Cork.
Oh, boy, I see that's coming up next. Yeah, I can't say nothing about that, but I see it's coming up next week, and I said, "Boy, what a dandy thing to go to." Like talking to people there, and like they say, "Oh geez, I'm after seeing you on the TikTok and all that," right? And like getting stopped, and poor old Jessica was there, and she was like, "Boy," she said, "I didn't think it was like that." She said, "I knew you had reach, but I didn't think you had reach like that." Like we was up in Taft's last night, I got hauled out. We were going to.
You must have felt class.
Oh, like it's wicked, right? Just the fact to know that you reached out that far, and I got that far, you're like, boy, like I didn't ever know that little app had the power to do that, right? But
did the video start taking off straight away, or were you kind of just throwing them up? For the
I was just throwing them up for a little while. I don't know what. There was a fella up in Ontario, Capkey 613, I think he is. He's like he does the stereotypical Ontario accent, like the A and the fucking maple syrup and all that, right? That's so far removed from Newfoundland as you can even imagine, right? Like we only joined in 49, even then it was a split fucking vote. We were well enough on our own, but though, like you said, that was them up along. But I remember he made a video and he said, how can you tell someone you're Canadian without telling someone you're Canadian? And I see that, I was like, oh fuck, I'll give you a run now. I said, no, this is Canadian because we're still paying our taxes up along to you, but this is not what you sounds like. I went on a riff talking about putting a door into the cabin, and like you say, like I can slow it down when I needs to, but if I wants to put her in high gear to get something out across, I can put it out across. And I made that one. I remember that one blew up. I don't know what that went to. Like people just caught on to that. They're like, "What the fuck is this? What is he saying? Where is he from?" Like, and that one kind of blew up. And then after that, it just kind of started trickling up from there. And you had big ones every now and again that just kind of takes off. I don't know what the last one would have been. There was one that was really popular. I was talking. The Colin Cow was in over here.
Oh yeah,
going Harbour. Oh Jesus, that one went up almost 6 or 7 million views, right? Like
that's mad. Right?
Oh, just getting on, right? Because when you says Harbour, that's the exact same the crowd from Bay Roberts calls a harbour.
Oh really?
Right? Oh yeah, they drops all their R's, right? The R's just goes out the window. So Harbour. They'll say we're going down to Harbour now for a beer. Oh yeah, that's and as soon as the young fella said it, I said, Jesus Christ, I swear to God he was from Bay Roberts. Right? That's gas. Yeah, and that blew up, right? But it's a grand laugh, right? And just the fact that you're throwing that out there and they're like, "Boy, what is this?" Right? Yes, I find it hilarious because for me and someone else's talk, you're not skipping a beat. But you take someone maybe just an hour, like even when I go to the West Coast over like West Coast and Newfoundland, and you talk to some people, they'll be like, "What'd you say?" And they're not picking up what you're laying down, right? Like I don't understand. Even out to work, like I'll clean it up a little bit out to work, but if I start getting frustrated or like something's on the go and I'm trying to relate, like the plane is going to trip, I'll bawl something out on the radio. They're like, "No, but you're gonna have to come back on that," like because they're talking, well, like they're maybe some from town or something like that. They're not picking up. I'm laying down. I'm going too quick, right?
Yeah, because like the St. John's accent would be kind of just similar to Ontario, would it?
Yeah, no, not so much. Like they got the touch of the. It's hard to explain it. They definitely don't sound like they're from up along.
Right.
They definitely got their own, but it's not so heavy as a brogue. I don't know if that'd be the best way to explain it. It's hard to put a real, because you got like we call it like the corner boy accent in town too. Like,
Right.
oh yeah, you're towny. Like, guaranteed you're from town. Then you got like just a flat accent. What I would call there's really nothing going on there. There's a lot of people in town too because they come from different places, and some people got no influence in with it. They just are what they are.
Yeah.
But then you get some people from St. John's like, oh yeah. Well, I can't really put a finger on what it is.
Yeah.
Like it's a St. John's or it's a Newfoundland accent. So
Yeah,
because then you get down our way, you get that Irish Newfoundland accent, and then you get down the Burin Peninsula, and you got the Burin Peninsula. Like you still knows it's Newfoundland, but you knows it's a different twang.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
But now that the zone in on exactly what it is, I don't know. Jessica's a linguist. She might be able to figure it out. She haven't figured it out yet, though.
I think it's when you say bye.
Yeah. That's not even like you wouldn't get that everywhere in Ireland either.
No,
I'd say boy a
it's
lot now.
Specific to Waterford.
Waterford, Cork, I suppose they'd say it a lot.
yeah.
Like I'm South Kilkenny, so we're kind of talk similar-ish, I suppose. Close enough to a Waterford
Because
accent.
Kilkenny's more lad. You'd be like, well, lad.
Yeah, Kilkenny.
And
Carlow,
not many. Like I find when you hear lad over home, it sounds forced.
Right.
Like it don't sound natural to me. Now it very well might be to some places because I'm not an expert going around Newfoundland. There's lots of places in Newfoundland I haven't been. I haven't spent no time. But I find when you hear, because especially like some of the creators I see on TikTok, and people say it about me too. They're like, "Oh, you're fucking putting it on." There's no fucking way you sounds like that. But I am what I am. It's like you can do what you want with it, but here I am. But some people I find when they're putting on the lad, it's almost like they're forcing it out.
Right.
And it might not be. It might be the salad, but just to my ear, and from the travelling around that I've done, and speaking to people and meeting people from all over Newfoundland, that it's not generally something that you hear.
Right.
Right? Like as maybe some of the older hands.
Yeah.
Like you to be talking like get up in Fairland and Calvert and like over the branch and all that. Maybe the older fellas, yeah.
Okay.
And that could bleed into some of the younger ones, but going on from there, I don't know. I think you might be leaning into it.
Yeah.
But again, and I'll always put the disclaimer onto it. I'm not a fella to go correcting anyone about language or how they talks or anything like that because I'm as fucked up as the rest of them. So I'm not one to be giving lessons, right?
You might be leaning into it.
Oh man, like you wouldn't believe how many, and because you get a lot of it from Newfoundland itself, and we're all worst enemies sometimes to ourselves, right? We loves putting other fellas out. I don't like trying it, but it's just as a culture, sometimes that's what bleeds into it.
I would have that over here as well.
Oh yeah, but like how much you get, like no, that's all fake. I've never heard that accent in Newfoundland. Never heard. I was like, buddy, have you ever been up to Witless Bay? Or have you left the overpass of St. John's? Have you just went down to Water Street and then went back up to Mount Pearl? Or what are you doing, right? Like, because if you spend any time, if you stopped off anywhere up the shore, you're gonna hear it. Right?
Yeah.
You'd be foolish not to, unless you didn't speak to anyone, right? Like,
Yeah.
Everyone gets it ripped out of them in Ireland. It's like,
Always.
geez, see, David was wearing a scarf last week. What's wrong with him?
Yeah, we've big slagging culture here.
scarves are terrible. Then next thing you see them going around with scarf. Like, what the fuck do you get that scarf?
You'd be scarred for life though as a young fella, like
Absolutely.
when your friends take the piss out of you or something, like.
Oh man, and that's like, well, this is another thing we got similar with you because the same thing home, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, loves ripping all the boys new, and then there's playfulness in it, and sometimes there's hurtfulness in it, but it's all going to work out the same.
Displaying any physical, like trying to differentiate yourself is a risk.
Oh, it's a big risk. Yeah, and you'll pay for it, like.
Oh yeah.
You're going to get a different type of hat than like a peaked hat.
Who the
Everyone
fuck you
knows.
trying to impress? That old hat is shoved down the garbage bin, then you're bottom up out in the parking lot, right?
Oh, a fedora! Get him, boys!
Yeah, we're not standing for none of that. There'll be no fedoras. Next week you see some going around with a fedora. Where'd you get that to? Oh, I got it in Dumpster, boys. Nice.
I can have a personality outside of you guys, not the hat way.
No, you'll not do it that way.
Do a different way.
Yeah, you want to go move. Right.
Fucking gas.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boys.
Have you had any mad experiences since you came to Ireland?
Not too wild. Like we've been busy. Like it's just been go. So I'm trying to see and fit in what we can as quick as we can.
Yeah.
The two Johnnies that was the best one.
Yeah.
Like for the boys to call you out in the crowd and haul you up to the front rail and then give you the mic, I was like, bye. What is this? And then I had the album there, and I was after listening to a bit of their stuff, but mostly it was podcasts and clips on TikTok.
Yeah.
So I threw the CD on. Jessica was reading the book or whatever. I said, just going to listen to the full fucking album now while we're going up to Doolin today. And I was singing along like all the songs that I heard him play last night. Like I knew bits and pieces. Some of them was new to me. Jeez, I was rocking along going on up to there to that. Like you couldn't have put it together no better. Like, and it was meant to be. Like, that was the best of it.
Yeah.
Now roaming around Galway last night, and then a couple of people hailing you, like, you're that fella from TikTok. It gives you a realization of what it is, and actually be after doing that and then being put in a situation, that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
And it just was
cool,
looking at me, just like, I didn't realise this was like this, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, there's only a couple of interactions here and there, but it's still, it was solid. Right?
Yeah.
I got to say, like, you get it every now and again in Belfast, but like we go up in Belfast, we're out in like big nightclubs and stuff like that. It's loud.
Yeah.
So you get talking to a few people for a little bit, and that's about it. And the trade sessions you're going to is nice and quiet, and normally you can just blend in with everyone else and sit down there. But
Yeah,
if you're out travelling around, someone pluck you out, be like, you're that fella. Like, I went up to the hotel to see her when we got in this afternoon, and I said, geez, Jessica, I get something to eat, because whenever I ate since I got there, and I said, I got to get a beer. So buddy brought me over my beer. He said, geez, I didn't know we had a celebrity in the hotel to see. And I was like, bye. I said, don't go blowing me head up now. I said, I won't be able to fit out through the door. Hey, come over with a beer for me, right? And I had a dandy all the arm with him. Like, so like everywhere you're going, as you landed somewhere, and that was the maddest, I'd say.
Yeah.
Right? Like for myself that way, for seeing stuff, Cliffs of Moher was wild to see.
Really, yeah.
For me to see Cliffs of Moher and look at it and just look at the structure of the land and like how the cliffs are, you could see
Detached from Newfoundland.
no, honest to God, like if you ever gets over there and you gets out, especially if you see it from a boat, because we can't see it from the land as well as ye sees it from the land at the cliffs.
Right.
But if you gets out there on the boat and you looks at Southern Ledge out or goes off on Southern Ledge and Southern Head between Babels and Muttles Bay, we don't get the height that you got, because it almost like the land sunk into the water.
Okay.
But it's the same sort of structure. Like, looking at the rocks and how all your grass clings to the rocks. Like, the way that looks, it looks exactly like Cape St. Mary's Bird Sanctuary. Like, they got a couple of rocks stuck up and there's a pile of gannets and all the birds lives on the rocks and all that, but a sheer cliff face. And to look at it and just see how everything looks, like, it's like if you took what we had over there and blew it up 10 times.
Right,
And, like, walking out to the cliffs from Doolin and looking up all the fields, that's fair. Like I said that yesterday when I made a TikTok, that's Fairland Downs if you supersized her.
Yeah.
Because it looks the same thing. Like, it goes up to Fairland, looks up the downs, like all the meadows and all that. That's them, only for it's huge.
Yeah.
But
It's funny, like, I even thought, like, for years, do you know when you look west from Ireland? Years ago, I always thought, oh yeah, sure, it's the US. It's not, like, it's Newfoundland.
Oh yeah,
like, straight
that's what it
across
hangs into, because they're farther to the south, right?
Yeah.
You go straight across. Like, we're out on the boat, we're 200 mile off, so like we're the farthest ones out, and I looks in, I see two flares. The one more to the north is Hibernia, the one to the south now is Hebron. And if I puts myself just to the north of Hibernia, I knows I'll strike home. And I knows if I looks exact opposite of that, I'll strike Ireland. You'll never make it there, but it's there.
Gas crack.
Yeah.
That's that.
If we do ever make it over to Newfoundland, what are a few things that we have to do?
That's like,
because it's on the cards. Hopefully,
you'll get there. I've full faith that you'll get there. It's much like Ireland. There's a lot to do, right? And a lot to see if you wants to travel at all. Now, there's big ticket items and little ticket items, and it all depends on when you're there, right? Like, we start getting Wales the late June, early July. The humpbacks comes along to show we're home, and I don't know about the rest of the province. I'm sure some of it they might get some whales up along the north coast too, but like home that's where you're getting them, because the Capeland comes in, the whales follows them. To see that is amazing, and it's something I takes for granted because I grew up on it, and like father had a boat and we were out in the boat all the time fishing, and to see that, to be able to come over and see it, and it's not guaranteed either. You comes over in July, you might get a good day, you might get a day where it's to the rails with fog, you might get a day that's like what it is out here today, but you might not see no whales. But if you can get alongside them and they're there feeding, there's something else to see, something 65 ton going along in the water, eating a pile of fish, and like if they gets playful, they comes body and bones up out the water. So there's 65 ton coming up out the water and splash. It's not, and you don't always see it. That's rare to see. But see them breaching, mental. Right. The bird sanctuary out there is nice to see too, but you get almost be interested in that. Like, it's cool to see. Like, again, I take it for granted because I'd be out alongside them. I used to work that boat tour when I turned 19. I was a bartender on the boat. Really? So I was at that 3 days a week, every day for the whole summer, right? So you do, like, I take it more for granted than what it should be. But it is something neat to see. Going up along the southern shore, like, we got a trail network, I think it's, me and Jessica was talking about this morning, it's 200 or 300 kilometres of coastal trails. If you could take in a couple of them,
Yeah.
just a couple to take in the coast, and there's some that's better than others, and you can look on Google that people rate some better than others just for the cliff face that you're walking on and something like that. It's not the Cliffs of Moher, by no means.
Right.
But it is beautiful to see.
Yeah.
St. John's, I mean, geez, you get to go to St. John's. There's a lot there to go and see. Signal Hill, they get where they put off the first transatlantic there. Marconi was up there.
Okay.
It's cool to see that.
Yeah.
We got a little, I call it a mini castle. I brought out a little one up there the weekend before I come and said, look at the castle now. She always talking about Disneyland, thinking about the big castle. I said, there's a castle there too. And she go off, I said, feel the castle now. I said, what is it like? She said, it's a rough castle because it's all stone, right? But go there and see that. Like George Street is famous just for like the most bars, pubs in proximity to each other. I think in all North America, or it used to be.
Yeah, I've heard this.
It might still be. There's a lot of good places down there. Like
Really?
Broderick's, Darcy Broderick got a pub down there. Well, his daughter runs it. But if you could get down there and like he got his little band Black Gold, they play his now.
Okay.
Oh my Jesus, you'd be right at home.
And
We
we
sat
get-
down to the pub, having a pint again. It's just said this is perfect, right?
Happy.
And the first thing we have to do is get screeched in, isn't that right?
Screeching in is a big thing, right? And everyone goes and does it, but we're all laughing, right? Because we won't do that. If you sees me out in the boat kissing the fish, I'm 3 parts in and I'm making fun of someone. That's it. But it's that thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you go over and you do it. Right?
Okay.
And Jesus, if you come over, I'd screech you, and I'm sure I'll find fish somewhere around. But it's one of the things that everyone comes and does. And like, there's a lot of different places to do it. Like some bars offers it.
Right.
For me, if I could find somewhere that I could do it on the water, out on a boat, that's your prime experience.
Okay.
I think we used to do it on the boat tour, but we had like a puffin or something because I never had no frozen fish there on hand.
Right.
But if I was going to do it, I'd find someone who'd give me a frozen fish on hand to do it because you have to get the full meal deal, right?
Yeah.
If you're into like hiking and all that, like Grossmore is beautiful over on the west coast of the
Heard
province.
of that Grossmore, yeah.
It's like 7 hours from St. John's.
Right.
So if you're flying in St. John's, it's a hard thing to go do. But I mean, if that's what you're into, it would be a nice stop off because like the highest point in Newfoundland is over around that way. Grossmore ain't the highest, but it's pretty close. I think it's probably Grossmore might be like 700 meters in elevation. That's the tallest we got in the province. A lot of it is sea level.
Yeah.
It's the long range mountains coming up there. Up Northern Peninsula, I think that's where Vikings and all that come over. So they got all the sod huts and all that from years and years and years ago, and they're well preserved. If you're into that bit of history, it's something to see too, but it's really out of the way.
Okay.
Right.
It'd be 7 hours to Deer Lake and then another 4 hours up north coast.
There's not a single journey in Ireland that'll take 7 hours.
Oh well, boy. Now you say that. Like I'm looking, well, because I knew I was coming to Belfast and I didn't know this trip was going to happen. So I said, well, if I could get away from work for a day, like I call in and say I'm not going to be in. I want to do something, take a day off. I said, where can I get? And I looked at it and I said, Jesus, because a lot of people were telling me Cork. It sounds like you're from Cork. I said,
That's funny you got that, yeah.
I was looking at it, I said, Jesus, there's no other way to get to Cork. I said, rent the car, and once I get to Dublin, I can go on.
Yeah.
And you hear so many people say, boy, that's a big trip. But like,
It is for us.
Like you say, for me to jump aboard to go to the West Coast, go down, it's 6.5 hours for me to get there. I'm doing that. I might do that twice in a hitch.
Yeah.
Just go over there for 2 or 3 days, come back.
Yeah.
Maybe last week down home, say, shag it, go over again, right?
Right, okay.
But I found that funny, like, to us, distance is not a lot. Like, same thing with the boys if they're working up in Fort Mac. Oh, geez, only 3 or 4 days to ride Fort Mac. Right? Get all your stuff down, pack it all in the car, come home. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drove home from Labrador. I was like, I was done work up there then, and I was going to work up in Alberta. And at the time, it was, I think, a couple of days before Christmas. But I had to start work right after New Year, and I was in company housing up there, so everything had to come down. I couldn't just pack it in a truck. Or I could have, but it probably would have took months.
Yeah.
I had my car up there, so I had to drive it down. So I said, check it, pack everything aboard the car. I said, there's only 10 or 11 hours to get down the coast. And I said, take the ferry, and there's another 10 to get home. I'm home by Tibbs Eve. And by the Jesus, I was home Tibbs Eve. And I'm going to tell you, that was an experience leaving Churchill Falls. I think I left 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to make the ferry.
Right.
Or get down there before nightfall. No cell service up there. Like, there's no cell service on the road. There's one stretch of road. It's all gravel, so it's all ice road. At the time, I think it's paved now. There's one spot you left, went Goose Bay down so far as Port Hope. I think there was a 4-hour stretch there. There's nothing.
Really?
There's not a soul, not a human. There's a depot in the middle that's not manned. But there's just 400 kilometres ice road. There's no cell service. There's no shag all. If he gets pinned up, you got to try to stay in the car, and you better hope that you got something in there and take care of yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so I'm bombing down the line like day before Tibbs Eve now, getting home. I got home. But it was funny, like the distances bit, right? Like I wouldn't bat an eye.
That's a huge thing in Ireland, as in like if you had to drive 3 hours, like people are like, Jesus, you drove 3 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
boys,
3 hours
no
in another country is
word of
nothing. Like, you
a
know?
lie. Like the DMV home, like they handles all the motor registration and all that.
Yeah.
I had a crack track that I bought a couple of years ago, and or more than a couple of years ago now. COVID and all that was on the go. I looked in St. John's. St. John's only a half hour for me to get it registered. It was only to pop in, and I had to give them a slip or whatever to get stickers for the bike on the license plate. And I looked and I said, Jesus, a month to wait to get this appointment. I said, Jesus, I got my license now. I want to use the bike, but if I can't use it without stickers, I'll get hauled over. So I looked and I said, where's closest to me? Clarenville's 2 hours away. That's a 2-week wait. And I looked at Gander. Gander's about 3.5 hours away. I get her appointment tomorrow. I said, Jesus, book that. Hop for a truck next morning. Go out and get my stickers. I get back before lunch, right? Like,
Yeah.
we don't think nothing of that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I'm trying to get out of that myself, to be honest, because it's nearly kind of bred into us here, nearly, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Even like people saying like, oh, you're going up to Dublin, you're going up and down in one day, are you?
It's nothing like, you know.
It's not. And and you have such a beautiful spot here to go see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like it's all within your fingertips. But like you say, if it's a cultural norm that way.
It is, yeah.
It's hard to break that, right? But
Yeah.
boy, Jesus, I mean, I come down here from Galway in 2.5 hours. This is nothing.
Yeah.
Go up to Galway for me.
Yeah, it's gas. There's one place that I think there's a few places in Newfoundland I'm dying to see, like St. John's, of course. I want to see Placentia as well.
Placentia's beautiful, yeah.
And Fogo.
But you got to get to
Fogo.
Fogo
Have to go,
for
yeah.
that connection there. You got to. I think I've only ever been to Fogo once, and I was young. I was travelling around, I think, with my aunt one summer,
Right.
and we went out there. But for yourself, like especially with that connection, get out to Fogo. I didn't think about Fogo because you don't think about that for the touristy bit. There's a really expensive hotel out there. I don't know how much it is a night, but holy fuck, like it's thousands and thousands of dollars.
Really?
Oh yeah, like celebrities and all that goes and stays there, right?
Right.
It's like this all new age straight lines, and it stands right out on the rocks. It looks weird
Right.
for me to look at it, but they all goes when you spend a fortune to go there, so they're keeping jobs. The best you can hope for. But yeah, for you to get out to Fogo, you definitely make that trip, and it'll get out again. There's probably 3.5 hours, and then you got half hour, 45 minutes up to the ferry. But I mean, you do that in a day, go up there, stay up there for a night or two, out there in Airbnb or something like that. Get around, talk to some of the hands. Be solid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it is.
you'd be laughing,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, it would be savage.
St. John's, Southern Shore, and like Southern Shore, like Placentia's a day trip from St. John's. It's only
Right.
hour and a half.
Is it all?
Oh yeah, it's not long to get down to Placentia.
Okay.
It is, about an hour and a half. I used to drive, like, I was working in Long Harbour, that's past Placentia. I used to drive there every morning, like, I was doing 12-hour days. I get up, drive to Long Harbour, come home. That was hateful, but if you were just going down there to visit it, oh yeah, day trip. Southern Shore, you could do the whole Southern Shore in a day.
Right.
Just drive down along the whole Irish Loop. I'd probably recommend you to stop off and stay a couple of places. Like you can stay in Witless Bay, or you can stay like closer up. St. John's up to Witless Bay and Bay Bowls is easy. It's only about a half hour. But if you stayed up in like Calvert or like somewhere nice, and then got out the next day and just walked around talking to a few people that was around, oh, you'd have some laugh.
So some crack.
Oh, you would though. Like, you're like, Jesus, mate, like, where are you from? Like, you're from Pastor Pass here, yeah? Like, no, mate.
It's a gas thing. I'd be looking forward to it because, like, say if a lot of Irish people met you, they wouldn't presume you're not from Ireland. Like, do you know what I mean? They would think you're from here.
Oh, you get some.
So they might not know what part of Ireland you're from, but they'd
I
presume you're
tripped them
from
up
here.
because they says I got a lot of like it's like a mix of some stuff. But like you say, the other night I was at that concert, and Mrs. said, "So when did you leave Cork?" Like, no, man.
I'd be interested to go to Newfoundland, and people, will they know I'm not from there? Obviously they will, but like, you know, because the accents are quite
like
similar.
Adirond Fogo will be tight.
Yeah.
And for the thing that'd give you away home is the young people, because
Right.
a lot of young people don't have the same brogue.
Yeah.
Not as much. But now some places like you get out around like Branch and down around there, yeah, you could see it.
Right.
And like further up the shore.
Yeah.
I don't hear it even so much home as what I used to. Now I don't know why. We get a lot of people move in too, like because the communities just have to grow.
Right.
What I always say about Witless Bay is we're close enough to the city that like if you want to run into Home Depot or something like that, you can run in a truck. Mm-hmm. You're far enough out of the city that you're the fuck out of the city. Right? You're not handy to it, right? You're still out around the bay. But it's right hand the line there. Once you get far up the shore, you can't really commute. But we got a lot of people that's in Witless Bay that commutes now. Because they got jobs in St. John's, and it's like for them a half-hour run. That's not bad in the evening. That's where most of the people works.
Yeah.
'Cause we got no real big economy up home.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose the majority of people probably work in St. John's.
Most of the people work in St. John's, myself included, like at times, like before I was doing rotations and all that, I worked in St. John's, and there's not much home unless you're working in tourism or like one of the small shops that's around, something like that. Or like there's fish plant, but even that gets a lot of people coming in to work in that.
Who are the majority of tourists that go to Newfoundland? Like Canadians?
We get a good few Canadians. We get a lot of Americans.
Right.
A lot of Americans comes along, and a mixture. Everyone, you might see all walks along. Like I remember I'm trying to think back when I used to work the boats. Be a lot of Americans, a lot of people from up in I call central kind of like Ontario and all that. You see so many people that never see the ocean before.
Right.
Like oh yeah, like people like might live on a lake or something like that, or see a lake before, never see the salt water.
Right.
And then you get out on a boat, and that's when you figure out that you get seasick, right? You're fucked then. God himself is not going to come down and save you. Like, he'll come to me, like I used to work on the bar, and they'd be like, "Geez, I'll take that gravel now." Like, my dear, best thing for you to do is go out over there to the boat. I said, call out until he gets back to the dock. And they'd always try to, like the bathroom in her was down the hull, like down below. Worst place you can go. She's barred up, it was hot down there, and it's now like the same as getting motion sickness or something like that.
Yeah.
You're going to have a bad time. Just get out, look at the horizon, throw your guts up, and I'll come back with you with a ginger ale now after. And
Fixed.
Yeah. When you're done throwing off, have a couple of shots and you'll be all right.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Do people complain about the weather in Newfoundland?
Always. That's the most popular topic.
That's great, because that's all we do here.
You'll always find something to complain about, and the easiest thing to complain about is the weather. Jesus, I'm shocking cold, and then winter or summer comes.
I think you got that from here.
I'd guaranteed that
brought that over,
right? Because it's always something like, geez, nippers is out now, and then you'll get it blind and snow. Like, can't wait for the nippers to come back.
Over here it's just like it's raining, just like, geez, it's miserable out there. Actually, we get a bit of sunshine now one of these days, and then it'll be sunny. You'll be like, you couldn't go out in that.
No,
you'd be roasted.
Yeah,
you'd be burned alive. Just make sure you put on the cream now. Actually, don't go out in that. Put on peak hat.
We never used to be concerned about anything like that, but like it'd be hotter now, right? I've talking to my father, this one thing I was thinking about the other day. I said, geez, that'd be a dandy little hot take. Father used to be out years ago, didn't matter what it was, always taking the sun in, right? Always. And I see, like, on their forecast now, it gives you the UV index, so it tells you from 0 to 10 of us mild to wild, say, how hot it is. And he knows when he starts getting up there, you're going to get burnt, eh? Mm-hmm. And I'd be saying to him, like, Jesus, like, it's going to be warm today. I said, the UV getting up 7 or 8. I said, you want to put something on? Father said, what does that mean, UV? I said, what it does to your skin, I said, pay no on you. I said, you're handy 70 now. Like, what I got done to you, I got done. You have no worries about it. And he was going shingling the other day. He said, what's the UV index there for tomorrow? I said, to 7. Jesus, big, he said, big UV index. I said, go on, put shingles on the roof. There's no mind to you, right? Like, you can put you can put sunscreen on your hands, but I said, Jesus, past that now. Right concerned with it. Like, you got to be tuned right in, right? No, solid boys, like you say, been great. I can't believe it actually happened.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Right? Yeah, I'm still trying to come to terms with that like it all come together, and I got to see a few people, like, jeez, seen 2 Johnnies, that was fucking perfect. Yeah, and then, like, I didn't think I was going to see you, because when I bypassed Waterford, the plan was if I stayed in Waterford, I said I'll dart up and see him, because it's only a shot from what I was looking at. But once we bypassed that and we changed everything to go to Cork, I said, fuck's sake, because I'm not gonna be able to make that connection. And we jigged it around, Jesus, here we are. Right? Yeah, but by like you say, it all comes together well for a reason.
Slurping Guinness and Smithwick's of a Saturday, nothing wrong with it?
Jesus.
Can't beat it.
No, you won't. You won't. Like I say, I got to go back to work on Wednesday, so I'm fucked there for now on the way out. But oh, jeez, well, you can put together no better than that. You couldn't write it no matter, is what I always say. No, solid.
Happy days.
Some crack.
Well, sound out.
Thank you, boys.
Cheers.
Thank you, boys.